At 17, parents left me at dinner. Looked back after years of sacrificing for family. 5 years later, my name is Jack. I'm going to tell you a story about how I learned that the most important thing you can build is yourself. She simply told the waitress I was old enough to figure things out. Then they drove away without me. That's what still stings. Not the frigid wind cutting through my hoodie, or the way my backpack felt like a dead weight on my shoulders. No, what I remember most was how utterly composed she sounded when she said it. It was as if leaving me stranded at a gas station in a city I didn't recognize was just another item to cross off her checklist. The sign above the convenience store buzzed faintly. It read, hot food, cold drinks, restrooms and back. I had only gone inside for a moment to wash my hands, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. When I walked out, the car was gone. Initially, I chuckled to myself. I thought it was some bizarre joke. Maybe they had just pulled around the corner or stopped to get gas. But as the minutes stretched on, the anxiety in my chest began to tighten. Then a cashier emerged, holding my jacket as if it were a piece of garbage. She said you'd find your way, he mumbled, handing it to me like a used tissue. That's when I knew they had truly abandoned me. I was 18 years old, and had just been left on the side of a highway in Phoenix by my father and his new wife, Lisa. To be honest, things had been tense for a while. My stepmother, Lisa, hated that I existed. I was a constant reminder of a marriage she didn't like to discuss. My dad, he wasn't intentionally cruel, just apathetic. He was the kind of man who always looked weary, tired of conflict, tired of making decisions, so he chose silence. When my mom passed away, they promised I could live with them until I graduated. We'll make it work, they said. What they really meant was, you'll adapt until you break. I gave up my bedroom so her daughter could have a bigger space. I ate leftovers while they ordered from restaurants. I wasn't allowed to use the washing machine after 7 p.m., and Lisa once accused me of stealing her shampoo. I held on because that's what you do when the people who are supposed to care for you start treating you like an object. But that morning, everything changed. They told me we were going on a weekend trip, just to get away and decompress. I should have realized something was wrong when they told me to leave my phone at home to unplug. Instead, they drove me 3 hours outside of town, pulled into a gas station, and vanished. I sat on the curb for hours. The cashier kindly offered me a granola bar and a bottle of water. I was so stunned I didn't even say thank you. Eventually, I found a bus schedule inside and figured out how to get back to the city. I had $28 in my backpack, emergency money my mom had hidden in a book before she passed. That money got me to a shelter near the city center. It was loud, crowded, and smelled. That night, as I lay on a cot next to a woman mumbling in her sleep, I made a decision. They weren't coming back, and I wasn't going to let them win. I found work bussing tables at a small cafe on the edge of the city. The owner, Marisol, didn't pry. She just handed me an apron and said, "If you show up on time, we're good." And I did every single day. I worked double shifts, saved every cent, bought a prepaid phone, and found a room to rent from an elderly woman named Georgia, who charged me less if I helped her take out the trash. My grades dropped at first, but I fought to bring them back up. I applied for night classes after graduation and got accepted into a community college. People think being abandoned is the worst thing that can happen. They're mistaken. The worst thing is realizing how effortlessly someone could erase you. But you know what's even more powerful? Refusing to disappear. 3 years later, I was running my own small online business from a small apartment in Los Angeles. I sold journals, wellness kits, small items with a deeper purpose. I packaged every order by hand, wrote notes to customers, and told them they weren't alone because I knew exactly how that felt. One of those kits ended up in the hands of a journalist. She wrote an article, and it went viral. Suddenly, I had more orders than I could handle. I hired 2 people, then 5, then 10. My story was picked up by a magazine. Boy abandoned at gas station. Builds empathy brand from scratch. They called me a survivor, but I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was thriving. Then came the invitation. It was for a charity gala for young entrepreneurs, a black tie event with elegant appetizers and spotlights. I didn't want to go, but my team insisted, saying I deserved to be recognized. I walked in wearing a dark blue suit and comfortable shoes, as dress shoes still gave me blisters. Halfway through the evening, I saw them. Lisa was laughing, holding court, wearing a gold necklace I recognized as my mother's. My father was right beside her, quieter than ever. They didn't recognize me, I looked different, more confident, more at ease. Then came the announcement, one of tonight's silent donors has a story that has inspired us all. Please welcome Jack Dawson. Their heads snapped around like someone had hit rewind on a suspense film. I stepped up to the microphone and smiled. Sometimes, the people who cast you aside are actually doing you a favor, I said, because once you are forced to rebuild yourself from the ground up, you realize that you were the foundation all along. The applause was deafening, but my eyes were only on two people in the crowd. I didn't smile for them.